All right, I need you to be completely honest with me for a second. Did you know your brain is secretly playing tricks on you every single day with a hidden script running your life? It's true. The human mind is a fascinating, complex machine that often operates in ways we don't even realize. In this video, we're going to reveal 15 disturbingly accurate psychology facts that reveal the hidden forces driving our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. From the way we make decisions to the way we interact with others, the field of psychology has uncovered some mind-blowing insights about the inner workings of the human psyche. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Psychology? It sounds boring and complicated. But trust me, once you see how these principles play out in your everyday life, you'll be shocked at just how much is going on beneath the surface. Hence, get ready to have your eyes opened wide. These psychology facts about human behavior are not only fascinating, but they can also give you a serious advantage in work, relationships, and pretty much every area of your life. Before getting into that, I urge to subscribe to the channel, like, and turn on the notifications so YouTube notifies you whenever we release a new video. Let's get into the video, beginning with fact number 1, the illusion of multitasking. You often think you're more efficient checking email while on a call and planning dinner, don't you? But neuroscience says you're not. You're task switching, and each switch comes with a cognitive cost, a switching tax. This is what happens to you, my friend. Your prefrontal cortex has to disengage from one rule set and load another. This drains glucose, your brain's fuel, increases errors, and can actually drop your effective IQ during the process. You're not doing 3 things at 100% capacity. You're doing 3 things at 30% and feeling exhausted. The solution is that single tasking is a superpower. Learn to block time for deep work. When you're with someone, put the phone away and truly focus. Your brain and your relationships will thank you. Fact number 2. Our brains are hardwired for negativity. This may come as a surprise to you, but research shows that our brains are actually biased towards negative information. This phenomenon, known as the negativity bias, means that we tend to pay more attention to and remember bad news, threats, and unpleasant experiences more than positive ones. As the psychologist Daniel Kahneman explains, bad events have a much greater impact on psychological states than good events. This makes sense from an evolutionary perspective. Being hyper-alert to potential dangers helped our ancestors survive. But in the modern world, this bias can lead us to catastrophize, worry excessively, and miss out on the good things happening around us. The antidote is for you to consciously develop a positivity bias through practices like gratitude, savoring positive experiences, and reframing negative events. With time and effort, you can train your brain to focus on the good rather than the bad. Fact number 3. You prefer going through familiar pain than embrace unknown joy. This happens when you decide to stay in a job, relationship, or situation that you know is bad for you, just because the devil you know feels safer than the angel you don't. This isn't a weakness, it's a primal survival setting. Your brain's basal ganglia, the habit center, is wired to conserve energy and avoid risk. A known negative outcome is predictable, and predictability feels safe. An unknown positive is a gamble, and to your ancient brain circuitry, gambling could mean death. To change this, you must make the new path feel safer than the old. Start infinitesimally small. The goal here isn't to jump to joy, but to take one step away from the familiar pain. Make the new behavior so easy it's less scary than staying put.
Fact number 4. The pratfall effect. How mistakes can make you more likable. Do you know that sometimes making a small, humble mistake or blunder can actually make someone more likable and relatable? Well, there's a name for that. It's called the pratfall effect. Perfection is intimidating and creates distance. A minor flaw signals, I'm safe, I'm approachable, I'm like you. This next insight may feel almost unbelievable. The pratfall effect states that when a highly competent person makes a small mistake, It can actually increase their perceived likability and approachability. Spilling your coffee after giving a great presentation makes you relatable. It's all about that delicate balance between competence and humility. You see, when someone is perceived as being highly skilled or accomplished, it can sometimes create a sense of distance or intimidation. But when they make a minor slip-up, it humanizes them and makes them seem more relatable and down to earth. It's a subtle psychological trick that can have a big impact on how we're perceived by others. The best part is that you can actually use the pratfall effect to your advantage in your personal and professional life. By being willing to acknowledge your own flaws and mistakes, you can come across as more authentic, trustworthy, and likable, without sacrificing your competence or expertise. Fact number 5. Emotions influence our decisions more than logic. Here's an interesting question for you. Have you ever made a decision that didn't seem to make logical sense? And it turns out that's more common than you might think. As the neuroscientist Antonio Damasio discovered, our emotions play a far greater role in decision-making than pure reason. In fact, Damasio found that people with damage to the emotional centers of their brains had a much harder time making decisions, even though their logical faculties were intact. This suggests that emotions aren't just a distraction, they're an essential part of the decision-making process. So the next time you find yourself torn between the head and the heart, don't dismiss your feelings. Tune into them. Understand where they're coming from and let that emotional intelligence guide you towards a wiser choice. Fact number 6. Our unconscious minds call the shots. This fact is rather humbling. The vast majority of our mental activity occurs outside our conscious awareness. According to the psychologist Ap Dijkstrahuizen, our unconscious minds are constantly processing information and making decisions that we're not even aware of. This means that the reasons behind our behaviors, preferences, and judgments often have more to do with hidden biases, memories, and impulses than the rational thoughts we're consciously aware of. It's a bit unsettling to realize how much is going on beneath the surface. But the good news is that by bringing more mindfulness and self-awareness to our inner world, we can start to understand and influence these unconscious processes. Simple practices like meditation, journaling, and self-reflection can shine a light on the hidden drivers of our behavior. Fact number 7. The Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. Maybe you've ever noticed how you once learn about a new word, product, or concept, and you suddenly start seeing it everywhere? This is known as the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, and it reveals an interesting quirk of the human brain. The fascinating part is that this phenomenon isn't just limited to new information. It applies to all sorts of things, from trends and fads to random coincidences. It just goes to show how our perception of the world is heavily influenced by what our brain decides to focus on in the moment. Here is what makes these facts more interesting. Not only does our brain tend to notice new information more once we've learned about it, but it also has a tendency to perceive more coincidences and patterns in the world around us. It's like our brain is constantly on the lookout for connections and similarities, even when they may not actually be there. This phenomenon is sometimes called the frequency illusion, and it can have a big impact on the way we perceive the world. Thus, when something new pops up, our brain immediately starts noticing it more, almost as if it's on the hunt. We might start noticing the same brand of car everywhere, or feel like we're constantly running into the same person at the grocery store. But in reality, these coincidences are often just our brains playing tricks on us. But wait, because this goes even deeper. Once you understand this quirk of human psychology, you can start to catch yourself in the act and maintain a more objective, rational perspective on the world around you. It's a powerful reminder that our perceptions are often shaped by the biases and limitations of our own minds. Fact number 8. Habits are surprisingly powerful. If you've ever tried to break a bad habit or build a new one, you know how challenging it can be. That's because, as the psychologist Wendy Wood has discovered, habits are incredibly powerful drivers of human behavior. In fact, research shows that up to 45% of our daily actions are habitual rather than the result of conscious decision-making. These ingrained patterns, encoded in the neural pathways of our brains, can be remarkably resistant to change. But here's the flip side to all this. Habits can also be powerful allies in the pursuit of our goals. By intentionally developing positive routines and rituals, we can leverage the brain's natural tendency towards efficiency and automation. The crucial part is for you to start small, celebrate your wins, and be patient with the process. Fact number 9. Our brains crave certainty even when it's irrational. As much as we like to think of ourselves as rational beings, the truth is that our brains have a strong preference for certainty even when the facts don't support it. This psychological phenomenon, known as the need for closure, was explored by the psychologist Ari Kruglanski. Kruglanski found that when faced with ambiguity or uncertainty, people will often jump to conclusions, cling to familiar beliefs, and dismiss contradictory information. This is because our brains are wired to seek patterns, make sense of the world, and avoid the discomfort of the unknown. While this tendency can provide a sense of security, it can also lead to biased thinking, prejudice, and poor decision-making. The solution to this is to cultivate a tolerance for ambiguity, stay curious, and be willing to update our beliefs in the face of new evidence. It's not easy, but it's a crucial skill for navigating the complexities of modern life.
Fact number 10. The spotlight effect. Why we think everyone notices our flaws. Essentially, the spotlight effect is the tendency for people to overestimate how much others are noticing and judging their appearance or behavior. We have this innate belief that we're the center of attention, when in reality, most people are far too preoccupied with their own lives and insecurities to be closely scrutinizing ours. The reason this happens is rooted in our evolutionary wiring. As social creatures, we're hardwired to be hyper-aware of how we're perceived by others, because being ostracized from the group could have been a matter of life or death back in the day. But in our modern, hyper-connected world, this tendency can lead to a lot of unnecessary self-consciousness and anxiety. You've probably never been told this part. Once you understand the spotlight effect, you can start to catch yourself in the act and remind yourself that most people are far too busy worrying about their own flaws to be closely examining yours. It's a powerful way to boost your confidence and stop sweating the small stuff. Fact number 11. Our memories are surprisingly unreliable. It may come as a surprise, but our memories are far from perfect. As the psychologist Elizabeth Loftus has shown, human memory is highly malleable and susceptible to distortion, false memories, and even complete fabrication. The reason for this is that every time we recall an event, our brain doesn't simply retrieve a fixed record of what happened. Instead, it reconstructs the memory, often incorporating new information, biases, and even imagination. This means that our memories can change over time, and we may genuinely believe in experiences that never actually occurred. I want you to know this. It's important to approach our own recollections and the accounts of others with a healthy dose of skepticism. Relying too heavily on eyewitness testimony or our own memories can lead to flawed decision-making and false conclusions. The essential part of this is to remain open-minded, seek corroborating evidence, and be willing to update our beliefs as new information emerges. Fact number 12. The halo effect. How appearance shapes perception. Have you ever noticed how we tend to make snap judgments about people based on their appearance? Well, there's a name for that. It's called the halo effect. Essentially, the halo effect is a cognitive bias that causes us to take one positive trait about a person, like their attractiveness or their perceived competence, and let that trait color our entire perception of them. We assume that if they're good-looking, they must also be smart, successful, and likable. The crazy thing is that this effect can have a huge impact on everything from hiring decisions to romantic relationships. We're not even aware that we're doing it, but our brains are constantly making these snap judgments based on superficial cues. The unique thing about this fact is that once you're aware of the halo effect, you can start to catch yourself in the act and make a conscious effort to look beyond appearances. It's a powerful reminder that first impressions can be deceiving and that true character is often hidden beneath the surface.
Fact number 13. The invisible committee. How your childhood still shapes your behavior. Let's look at this fact this way. Think of your adult personality as a government. Your conscious, rational mind is the current president. But the cabinet is filled with representatives from your childhood. Those early experiences about how you were comforted, what earned praise or punishment, wired your brain for what to expect from the world. This is why you might overreact to a certain tone of voice or seek approval in ways that don't even make sense to you now. Your inner child is still casting deciding votes on your adult life. This is where shadow work starts. When you have a reaction that feels bigger than the moment, ask, when was the very first time I felt this way? When you do that, you're not excusing the behavior, you're decoding it. Fact number 14. Stress can dramatically impair our cognitive abilities. We all know that chronic stress can take a toll on our physical and mental health, but did you know it can also significantly impact our cognitive performance? On this subject matter, psychologist Sion Beilock found that high levels of stress can actually impair our working memory, decision-making, and problem-solving abilities. This is because when we're in a state of stress, our brains shift into a more reactive, survival-oriented mode. The prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for higher-order thinking, takes a back seat to the more primal limbic system. As a result, we have a harder time focusing, thinking clearly, and making rational choices. The good news is that by developing effective stress management strategies like mindfulness, exercise, and social connection, we can mitigate these cognitive impairments and perform at our best, even in challenging circumstances. Fact number 15. Social proof and the bystander effect. Have you ever noticed that the more people who witness an emergency, the less likely any one person is to help? This is the bystander effect, driven by social proof. We look to others to interpret ambiguous situations. Is that guy really in trouble? No one else is reacting, so it must be fine. We outsource our moral responsibility to the crowd. This also explains fads, stock market bubbles, and why everyone seems to be doing the same thing. The idea here is that in a crisis, be the one to break the spell. Don't just call out for help, point to one specific person. You, in the blue jacket, call 911. You collapse the diffusion of responsibility. In life, question the crowd. Is this my path or just the well-trodden one?
I would love to hear from you. Which of these facts about human behaviors surprised you the most? Drop your observation in the comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on the notification so you don't miss out on our upcoming videos meant to change lives.